Welcome to Moto State Podcast, where we talk about motorcycles, life, and everything in between. And that did too. So
That's some of the beauty of it, though, dude. You can with a podcast now, you can kind of just reach out to people anywhere, and these conversations go forever. You know what I mean? Like, you save this,
Yeah.
and 30 years from now, you'd be like, "Hey, Dad used to be cool." You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That's a thing.
Luke and I talked about that too. Like, I've put up a bunch of motorcycle shit on YouTube too, and it's the same thing, right? It's like after a while, I started thinking about that in terms of just like what that means in motorcycling, and there's a little bit of a legacy situation that you kind of leave behind. You know what I mean? And I think that right now in motorcycling, for those of us that are around Luke and I's age, I don't want to make any assumptions about how old you are, Taylor, but we kind of think about that a little bit, and I think that's where we are in motorcycling, is we're leaving our footprint in motorcycling is going to be digital. You know what I
100%.
mean? Yeah.
That's everybody, man. That's like I don't want to put a timestamp to it because somebody's gonna say I'm wrong, but like, once Instagram became on everyone's phone,
Yeah.
everything became digital. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That changed the whole.
Yep.
But,
changed
you
the whole
know,
game.
but it opened up the world. I mean, I have friends in Louisville, but but before that, what's the likelihood that we would have crossed paths, or even Luke and I would have crossed paths? The digital medium is where so many of those things have happened. I mean, my very best guy friends that I ride with, all riding season long, are all people that I met because of digital medium.
And where are you out of, Ryan?
Yeah, so I'm in Grand Forks, North Dakota. So I'm about 100 miles from the Canadian border.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did y'all two get together?
Luke and I, I mean, we have a crazy origin story. So he was friends with some people that were listening to our podcast, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to this meetup in Uranus, Missouri." There's a lot of jokes around that, by the way, but I mean,
man,
so,
that's an unfortunate name for a town.
Yeah, right. And so Luke and I actually met in Uranus. That's the first time where we met. And believe it or not, it was 118 degrees in Uranus, and so it was quite moist. I can do this all day long.
Yeah, I mean,
but yeah.
Pick the joke.
But that's where we met, and we met. Was it 2023, Luke? Is that when we
22.
met? 22. Yeah, so Luke and I met in 2022, and then here about 9 months ago, the other podcast I was involved in was going through some transitions, and so we were doing some tryouts, and Luke tried out, and then we had a member pass away, and some things kind of. Well, it's life, right? And some things happened, and we caught there was 3 of us that were kind of founding members, and 2 of us that were left, and we just kind of decided, I think it's time we hang it up. And so when we hung it up, Luke reached out to me and he said, "Hey, I've been thinking about doing this since I tried out for the podcast. What do you think?" And I said, "Well, if you can give me some time to think about it, I just need some time. I needed to digest it. It was losing a close friend. I mean, I had done the podcast with him for 5 years, once a week. We met every single Monday for 5 years, and then went to multiple meetups, went to Sturgis together twice. I mean, a really close friend, and it was like one of those things. He told us he had cancer, and 6 months later he had passed away.
Jesus.
And so so I mean, it was very rapid, and so I just needed like a second to take a breath. And Luke, in his infinite wisdom, was kind enough to kind of give me an opportunity to take a breath. And when I came up for air, I said, "I'm like, man, let's do this." And the rest was that's just kind of a little bit of our origin story.
The funny part was, when we met in 2022, I had never listened to a podcast in my life, and so I rode down there with some friends, and then immediately started listening to their podcast. And then sort of that turned me on to Jace's podcast and Two Lane Life and so many others. And I just went down this huge podcast rabbit hole and started listening to a bunch. And I was, like I said, tried out for their podcast. And then I was like, I want to do this. I think I can do this. Right. So here we are, 20 something, almost 30 episodes later, we've made it happen. It's been fun. So
yeah, you guys are I mean, you guys are killing it. I met Luke at Mama Tried last year or
Okay.
beginning of this year. And
Yeah.
dude, it's pretty easy to be friends with him. He showed up and was like, "Hey, I'm hanging out with you guys." And we're like, "Sounds good, dude." Like, here we go, Like,
Well,
cowboy hat, let's go.
Yeah, that was the beauty. Well, we're talking about digital media and digital medium, like, right?
Mhm.
Like, that's how we met, right? You'd posted a story, you were flat out Friday. I was like, "Hey, man, this race
I'm
is
here too.
Sunday." Yeah, and he's like, "Here's my number. Text me." I was like,
Yep.
"Okay," and
Let's go. And then just 2-3 weeks ago, like Jace is a really close friend of mine, and I've got Jace's location on my iPhone, and I was traveling from California, moving to Kentucky, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna be so out here by myself. And I look it up, and Jace was like 28 miles from me in St. Louis, and I'm like, hey, dude, I'm gonna drive through St. Louis. What are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm just grabbing lunch with some buddies, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna stop in and say hi. And I walk in, and Luke's there, and I'm like, this is a small fucking world. Like, this is,
Yeah,
know?
dude.
It was
We
hilarious.
think it's big, right? But it's small. So where were you at in California, Taylor?
I'm sorry.
Where were you at in California?
So I moved to California in 2020. When I first got there, I moved to Lemoore, California. It's a small town about 30 minutes south of Fresno. And
Okay.
then at the end of 2023, like January of 2024, I moved down to San Diego.
Okay.
And I was there until November of this year.
Okay. I lived in Palmdale for about 10 years.
Where at?
Palmdale, so just north of Los
yeah,
Angeles.
Yeah,
it's
okay,
kind of
yeah. I was in Escondido.
Yeah, Palmdale's kind of like the asshole of California. Yeah, I mean that's right where I live. So, but I
You
live
never
there.
been to Bakersfield?
Yeah. So I live there. I'm gonna date myself though. I live there in the 80s. So
Okay.
I tell people I have this picture and it was an actual photograph back in the day. But so the first motorcycle I ever rode on that was where my legacy started in motorcycling was a 1985 FXRT right off the showroom floor.
Oh,
And so.
dude.
So I have a picture of me on a brand new 1985 FXRT with my mom, and I'm sitting on the back of it, and that's the bike we rode all over Southern California in the 80s.
Oh, dude,
and that's where I grew up. So to fast forward 30 years, 2 years ago, I bought the same not the same bike, but the same year, color, model, everything, 1985 FXRT that's sitting in my garage right now.
Oh, dude, how cool is that?
Virtually unmolested from 1985. So yeah, the people that owned it didn't fuck with it at all. And so yeah, so that's my legacy. And the here's the irony behind it, and I tell people this and they laugh their asses off. So I knew I'd been on motorcycles my whole life, but what I didn't know is I didn't know where my legacy started, right? And so about four years ago or so, my mom says, "Hey, I was rummaging through all these pictures." She goes, "Here, I'll just give them to you." So she gives me all these pictures, and I'm looking at this picture, and I said to my mom, I go, "Are you kidding me right now?" And she's like, "What?" And I go, "This is the fucking holy grail." I'm like, "This is where I started?" She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "That's the 85 FXRT. We had, we had like matching sidecar, like matching painted sidecar. We did tours all over California on that thing." And I was like, "You got to be fucking kidding me." I'm like, "This is where I started." I didn't even know. You know what I mean? You're a kid. I was 8 years old. I didn't know that's where I started.
Yeah.
So, I always like to, I always, I have that throwback picture that I can be like, people talk about.
This is where I started.
Yeah. They talk about, hey, like I've been involved in FXRTs or FXRs for X number of years. I'm like, I started there. You know what I mean? Like I started when they came out and everybody hated them and they were tearing the fairings off and throwing them in the trash cans outside the back of the dealerships.
Oh man, we have come full circle on that, haven't we?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
right.
You go buy one now for a few $1,000s. It's ridiculous.
Right. You pay about as much for a fairing right now as you did for a whole bike back in 85.
That's right. Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
That's the truth.
probably should introduce our guest.
Dude, I mean, yeah, let it rip.
Yeah. So everyone, welcome to the show. We are. I am excited to have my buddy Taylor on the show, and a man of I guess many titles. Veteran, dad, cool guy, motorcycle rider, founder of Shifter Crew, and now part of Law Tigers, Kentucky. This is Taylor joining us, and thanks for joining us, buddy. It's good to see you.
I just want to say that's the nicest strung together group of words anybody's ever said about me.
Well, I'm going to send you a Venmo. I'm going to send you a Venmo request after the show, so it's okay. It's
that was
no big deal.
$100 in advertising right there.
You're getting the first couple rounds at Mama Tried next year. That's what. That's
100%. 100%. It's only like a 5-hour drive now, so I'll be there.
Yeah, seriously, right? Yeah. Well, Taylor, thanks for joining us. Once you, I mean, I gave a very 50,000 foot view of your background, but tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what you're up to nowadays.
Yeah. Taylor from Law Tigers / Shifter Crew / I just got out of the Navy, retired from the Navy October 17th. Got a medical retirement after 14 years, which came as kind of a shock. But I was in Virginia Beach from like 2011 to 2020, moved out to California. I was riding motorcycles in Virginia a little bit, and then I moved to California and really got the bug because I lived in California, and it kind of exploded. Spent a couple years out there just traveling around the state. There's more motorcycle shows going on in the state of California on a Tuesday than there are probably in the rest of the country combined, respectfully.
Sure.
The rest of the country.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went to my first bike show, Live Fast Rally 2021, and absolutely fell in love with it, dude. It was the first big rally out there in the state of California post-COVID.
Gotcha.
And boy, was I fucking hooked. Like that was it.
That's awesome.
And then June of 2022, we started it as a complete joke. We made some funny t-shirts that we thought were funny. I think we ordered a couple hundred of them and sold out in a couple weeks. And yeah, Shifter Crew was kind of born after that, man. And we've been off to the races ever since. We still don't really have a game plan or know what we're doing, but it's still a lot of fun, you know?
Well, I mean, certainly it's evolved. Shifter Crew has evolved quite a bit since selling a couple hundred t-shirts a few years ago, though, for sure.
Yes, sir. Yeah, once we did that initially, and then and I don't want to like dominate the conversation. I'm sorry if I'm talking too much. Let me know. I only know how to tell stories like as they happened, because none of this was like a big brainchild. It was just like, do you guys want to do this? Do you guys want to do this too? You want to do this? And it just kept stacking itself up.
Yeah.
But we did the shirts, and then must have been January, February of 23. I'd been going to all these bike shows and I loved it, and I just wanted to see all these like cool ass bikes that people had. And I'd been going to Arizona Bike Week for a couple years in a row, and I was like, we can throw our own bike show. Like, I've been to enough of these. Like, I know what it consists of if you guys want to do it. So I called Scottsdale Harley, got on the phone with Emily Piper, who's the marketing manager out there. Awesome girl. Emily is super fucking sweet. Her husband Logan's amazing. They're great people. I call her, and I didn't know what I was doing, if that makes sense. So I got on and I just started rambling, dude. I just like started word vomiting. And I was like, hey, I'm Taylor from Shifter Crew. I've been coming out to Arizona Bike Week for a couple years. I've been going to all the different locations, and I've noticed that, you know, Cave Creek and Rockford Fosgate and Westworld and all these different locations, they all have bike shows, but you don't have one. And I think it'd be really great if you did. And we're going to build these awesome trophies, and all of our friends have cool bikes. It's going to be super great. And I went on this whole thing, and she was like, who are you?
Come up for a breath. Come up for breath.
Like, breathe, dude, breathe. What are you doing? But yeah, we ended up getting in there and doing a bike show, and we only did one in 2023. We did one bike show, and then the next one we did was 2024. We did the bike show, and the next day, the Live Fast Rally, which is like it's like the origin of Shifter Crew, if I can explain it. That's like the first show we really ever went to. They called us the day after our bike show, and they were like, we want you to put our bike show on. And we did that, and then shortly after the Live Fast Rally bike show, Sturgis called. And after Sturgis called and we put a show on at Sturgis, it was like off to the fucking races. Like
the faucet got turned on, right? Like,
oh yeah. And that was, I mean, all the credits to Daniel Pearson, my business partner. He was like, dude, nobody knows who the fuck we are. So if we're going to do a bike show, we have to have the coolest trophies in the world. And he sat down and designed this whole thing out and got on the phone with a couple machinists, and we ended up just making cool stuff, I guess, and putting it together, and people wanted it. And now we're a clothing company. That's what pays the bills. But the bike shows are what we're looking forward to. And we have a podcast and all kinds of other things now too,
Yeah.
So
I would say,
So,
folks,
Taylor, let me
hop on
ask-
hop on Shifter Crew's Instagram account and check out these trophies, because they are fucking impressive. I mean, there's ARP bolts holding those things together. I mean, they are.
Shout out to Banco Motorsports.
Yeah, they're badass. They're badass. I'm sorry, Ryan, go ahead, but it's worth mentioning. You got to check out those trophies.
So I was gonna ask you when you were talking about your, when you made that phone call and said, hey, I want to do this bike show. I mean, you were in California at the time. I mean, wouldn't you think that the people that host events like this think that, I mean, they probably get a lot of phone calls where the people are full of shit, don't you think? Like in in California, the mecca of motorcycling, half of the people that are making those phone calls are full of shit, don't you think? I mean, like for real.
I mean, I think, and this is something I've been guilty of this in the last like 6 months, and I had to kind of like, do some self-reflection and realize what I was doing wrong. But a lot of people overpromise and underdeliver.
Sure.
And you
absolutely.
have to stay away from that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
we were fortunate enough. The only sponsor that we had the first year, and I'd be ashamed if I didn't mention this. The only sponsor we had the first year was Clockworks, and I basically cold messaged them on Instagram and was like, "Hey, Scottsdale Harley said I could do a bike show. Can we put your logo on the trophy?" Like, I didn't even know. I just wanted to put their logo on the trophy because they're a huge company. You know what I mean? I didn't know anything about it. And at the Billwell Parts and Labor event that year, like they left me on red for like a month. Like, they never responded. And then at Billwell Parts and Labor that year, Shelton Einerwold came up to me and was like, "Which one of you guys runs the Instagram?" And I told him, I was like, "Oh, it's me." He's like, "I got your message. I saw you'd be here. I just want to talk to you in person." And they sponsored our first ever bike show, which brought us a lot of legitimacy from having the backing of somebody like Clockworks.
Sure.
And that it kind of, at that point, I don't want to say it lit a fire, because like, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. That's the end of the conversation. But that was like we cannot fail now. Like, this is now, you know what I mean? But I'm sure there's a lot of people that call out there and they're like, "We're going to throw you the best bike show you've ever seen." And it doesn't go that way, you know?
Yeah.
So,
no, I get it. So when we had our other podcast, we did the same thing. We did an event every year that was linked to the podcast. And we called it what we called it was FDBM. So but essentially it was a meetup, right? That's what we were calling it. But it was connected to our podcast. So but it took us, like, we had to make sure we were branding it as a meetup. Like, this is very grassroots. It's like you're getting together with a bunch of friends, but it's a bunch of friends from all over the country. So, there's no bike show. There's not going to be a row of sponsors. No one's going to be selling leather wallets with chains. Like, you have to, like, understand what it was. We had some sponsors that were involved in the podcast who gave us shit to give away. But that's what it was. Essentially, it was, really grassroots. Like, we want, the best part of the digital media is turning it into meeting somebody in person, shaking hands, breaking bread, having a beer, right? That's the best part of the digital media is when you go past just this screen that we're behind right now and you meet in person, because that's when you solidify that friendship, is when you meet in person, right? And so that's what we were trying to do, is just provide this opportunity where we want to get past Instagram, get past, the podcast, get past everything, meet in person, shake your hand, hang out, have dinner, become friends. And make friends all over the country. And we really had to make sure that even our sponsors understood, like, we're not doing a bike show. We're not doing drag races. We're not doing biker games. Like, it's a meetup. We get together, we hang out, we have beers, we chat, we give each other shit. We used to do like a live podcast, or we would do a podcast with like a live studio audience, like that kind of stuff. But essentially, we wanted it to be very grassroots, almost like a bike night, but larger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, and we like really made it a point to not sell ourselves for something that we weren't. I'm like, if you want the bike show, go out to the fucking parking lot where all of our bikes are parked, because we all, like you said, we all have cool bikes. Just walk around and look at everybody's bike. There's your fucking bike show.
I'm like, dude, I could throw a killer bike show with just my buddies.
Right,
I promise.
Yeah,
exactly. So,
I promise.
But that's what we tried to do, is make sure that anybody that was involved in us or that was showing up, we didn't want people to be like, hey, when does this thing start? Like, you're here, it started. You know what I mean? Like, that's what. Yeah, it's exactly. It's going down. You've shown up. So that's what we like. When you talk about that over promising and under delivering, that kind of stuff, we really were branding ourselves as not a rally, not a bike show. You know what I mean? A meetup, like a large bike night. So
it's a get together.
You know. Yeah, and that worked out really well for us, because you know, I think what ended up happening from our perspective is that we ended up attracting like a lot of people that maybe felt out of place or threatened at a rally or an event or a bike show or whatever, or they just never would go because they felt like it wasn't that kind of vibe for them.
Right.
We just had like a little bit less like more laid back vibe, like, you know, bring your freak here.
What you said right there, like, that's a big part too. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Like, the first time they go to a motorcycle rally or event or a show or bike night, anything, like, it's fucking intimidating. I don't care.
Absolutely.
Like, you don't know everybody, and it's intimidating, you know?
Yep.
Like, it is straight up. I don't care what anybody says. I went to Live Fast Rally 2021 by myself. I had just moved to California. I didn't know anybody. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure. Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, especially if you're going to a big rally, right? Like,
yeah,
it's one thing you're going something small, but then, you know, you're at Homecoming or Sturgis or something like that.
Fucking Mama Tried.
Right. Yeah. We
also, can
we
talk about Mama Tried? That might be the best fucking. That might be the best show, dude.
Well, you're preaching to the choir.
Yeah, we that's our favorite. We love that place.
My favorite's always gonna be the Live Fast Rally, because those were my fucking brothers, and that was where I got my start. That's always gonna be my favorite. But Mama Tried might be the best.
Yeah,
like, it might be better than Sturgis or any of the other ones. Like,
agreed.
The amount of things that they have going on for entertainment throughout the entire city of Milwaukee is wild, dude. Like, the flat track, that was the night that you and I started chopping it up. The flat track stuff down there at the Bucks Arena, like, nobody else is doing that. Yeah. And it's in February in Milwaukee. There's 3 feet of snow out front.
Yeah. Like, freezing our nuts off out there. Yeah,
dude. It's as good as it gets.
And then you end up at Elwoods, and I mean, it's just it's a whole vibe, right? And I mean, the Kool-Aid they're making.
Ended up at Elwoods afterwards. That was a good time.
Well, I made it the second night. You did not. So I just want to
fuck around. You fuck around and get drunk at Elwood. I'll tell you right now.
I think you're in the hotel ordering $100 worth of Taco Bell, if memory serves correctly.
Oh, at least $100. What am I feeding myself? Like, nobody else? Dude, I got man, it's a marathon, not a sprint. That's what I'll say. And a couple times a year, I'll sprint, and I did it. Mama Tried this last year, and I think I went out one of the 2 nights. God,
mistakes were made.
It was a good time, though. It was a good time.
I'm still drinking to scare off that hangover to this day. Like, I'm still just kicking that can down the road.
That's funny.
Well, so we go to Mama Tried, and we stay at the Ambassador right across from the rave, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is what my friends didn't tell me the first time I went there. So we go there, we go in this place, and it's got this real. Have you been in the Ambassador?
I'm not.
Okay, so great, good. Then you don't know the story. So it's got a real old school vibe to it. Like, it was built way back in the day. Like, it's got the like metal, like, you know, accordion doors in the elevators. Mm-hmm. Like, you get on the elevator and it smells like grease, like that kind of thing. And you go into the bathroom, and you can't go in the bathroom and sit down and take a shit. You have to go in the bathroom, step into the toilet or step into the bathtub to close the door to sit down on the toilet. Like, it was built like in the 50s, right? Well, guess what else it is? It's also where Jeffrey Dahmer took some of his boyfriends to murder. So that motherfucker is also
right across the street.
Right across the street. That motherfucker's also haunted. So
I bet
we're oh yeah, so we're staying there, and my buddies are like laughing because I don't get down with that shit, and they're like, hey, do you know where we're at? And I go, where? And they're like, they're like, the Jeffrey Dahmer room's right down the hallway. And I go, are you fucking kidding me right now? I'm like, I'm checking out. I'm like, I'm fucking out of this
They're
joint.
Like, this is where Jeffrey Dahmer ate his boyfriend's butthole, and then the rest
Exactly,
of it. Like,
exactly.
We're not doing this. Like,
Yeah, ate his butthole and not in a sexual way, and the straight up I'm hungry way.
That's right. Yeah. Oh,
you know.
my gosh.
So I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm not doing this shit. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's
yeah.
great.
So
oh, my
yeah.
goodness.
So that was my
Woo.
and I've been talking. So I went to Mama Tried. We went to the COVID year, and then they actually, because they owed their sponsors, they did it. They did it 4 months later. So I went to Mama Tried like 4 months apart, right? So I got like this completely bombarded with Mama Tried and just absolutely fell in love. Well, then life happened and I missed 2 years. So I'm going back this year. So and it's weird, I haven't been in a while, and I decided that it would also be a good year to bring my wife, which I feel like maybe bringing my wife to go hard at Mama Tried after I haven't been there in a few years might not be the best decision I've ever made, but
well,
mean,
you never claimed to be the smartest guy in the room either.
I never
so
claimed to be
fine.
the smartest guy
it'll
in the room. I mean, my wife knows me well enough to know we've been married 30 years, so she knows me well enough to know by now.
Nice.
Yeah.
You've been married 30 years?
Yeah, dude, I was 14 when I got married.
he was not 14.
I was 20. I was 20 when I got married.
But say, are you
sure.
from Alabama?
Congrats,
originally?
man. That's a long time. Congrats.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, hell yeah.
So Taylor, you told us so you came to California. You moved to Louisville. One of my really good friends who I did my other podcast with lives in Louisville.
Okay.
So Law Tigers brought you to Louisville. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So tell us a little bit about that. How did that call come about for you?
So once again, I don't know how to tell a story without telling the whole thing.
Tell the whole thing.
Let it fly.
All right. So in San Diego, one of my best friends in the world, Dustin Woolsey from LFG 1904. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. He'd be another really good guy to have on this podcast. Shameless plug. Dustin's a fascinating individual.
Okay.
So I moved down to San Diego from Lemoore, and Dustin and I hit it off pretty quick. And Dustin and I are very, very different people. I was not convinced. We knew each other. We were buddies, but we weren't like friends until I moved down there. We just were like buddies, I would say. And
Sure.
I moved down there and we hit it off super fast. And LFG and Shifter run a similar style program, if that makes sense. We do the same things, and now we're so fucking close that, like, I hate to say it, but if you get one of us, you get us both. Like, if you call him to come to your show, I'm coming. If you call me, he's the first guy I'm calling. You know what I mean? And he was telling me, we became good friends pretty quick. And he was telling me, he's like, dude, we got this deal with Law Tigers. Like, they're sponsoring a lot of stuff we're doing. They're sponsoring my podcast. You should check them out. And I was like, isn't that like the law firm? I was like, I'm not fucking with them ambulance chasers. Like, I ain't doing it, dude. Like,
No way.
dude, and this probably went for like, cause like Shifter Crew is not it's a company.
Right.
Okay. It's an LLC. We pay our taxes, all that kind of stuff. The Shifter Crew doesn't have any fucking rules. Like, we can do whatever we want.
Sure.
And we do whatever we want. And we represent what we like in that aspect. And what we don't, like, to be honest here, like, lawyers are like one step above cops. Like, motorcycle people don't want to deal with lawyers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure,
And
yeah.
so I was like, dude, I'm not getting in with this Law Tigers thing, dude. Like,
Right.
you can stop selling me on it. I'm not doing it. And like 6 months goes by, and Dustin introduced me to Gabriel, who's the Law Tigers San Diego regional marketing manager, her marketing manager for Law Tigers San Diego. And Gabriel was really cool. I had to give it credit. Like, that dude was fucking tight. Still is. And him and I ended up on a phone call, and he was like, hey man, let's just get together. Let's grab lunch. Let's talk about what we can do. And we sit down and have a whole conversation. And after talking to him and understanding what they really do, he was the right guy to sell me on it, if that makes sense, because he could relate to me, you know? And the way he kind of told me was like, people are going to talk, and your opinions and what you're saying, they're totally accurate, but people are also going to get in motorcycle accidents. So let's have a representative ready for them to help them when that happens. I don't want to get in an accident. I'm probably going to crash again, crash before, you know what I mean? And I would like to have a lawyer on standby and somebody that I can call to help me out when that shitty thing happens, you
Sure.
know? And so Gabriel and I became good friends, and we started doing a lot of work together with Schiffer Crew and Law Tigers. And it just, over the course of a couple years, became a very profitable relationship for both of us. And so I was in the Navy, ended up, I was the marketing manager at National City Harley Davidson. Those guys are awesome. The Wise Group owns them, and I had a great time doing that. But when I get out of the Navy, I was going to get a pension, for all my disability and all that kind of stuff. And dude, my rent in San Diego was $4,000 a month. And that's a lot of money. Like,
Yeah.
that's a lot of money.
That's a ton.
And I kind of realized, like, if I live somewhere else, that money's going to go a lot farther, and I'm going to live a much more comfortable lifestyle. So I
Sure.
reached out to Law Tigers and was like, hey, you got any of them jobs? Like, what's going on? And I mean, that's kind of where this came from. Now here I am in Kentucky and doing the thing,
Yeah.
So what is
But-
it? What are you doing for Law Tigers?
So I'm the marketing manager for the state of Kentucky. Now, what Law Tigers does as a whole, and like my day to day, are different things, if that makes
Sure.
sense. So
Sure.
Law Tigers is obviously, we represent the law firm, and if somebody gets in an accident, you call us. We're going to get you in with the intake team. They're going to get you taken care of, get you in touch with a lawyer. Insurance companies are everyone's enemy. I don't
Yep.
care who you are. The insurance companies are really not your friend. They want you to pay the most amount of money throughout the year, and then they want to give you the least amount of money in return.
That's
And
right.
that's what these personal injury firms are for, is to combat that, right? Now, what I do is 3 days a week, I'm getting in my van. I'm going around to local motorcycle shops. I'm finding out what's going on in the community, not just shops. It could also be like Kyle from Club Style Louisville. That guy throws a lot of events. He has a lot of, like bike nights and T-Bar Tuesdays and that kind of stuff. Get in with him, find out what he's got going on. I have a budget to assist him with his events.
That's great.
I just get to go out and be a part of the motorcycle community. And God forbid somebody gets hurt, call me, because I will get you in touch with a lawyer. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yep.
And that's kind of, there's levels to it. And what Law Tigers does at that level is way above me. But my goal is to go out and be somebody that you think of on your worst day to call that can help you the next day. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. Spreading the word, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's great.
Yeah. People are going to get in accidents, man. And you might as well have a lawyer.
Well,
You know?
and I think
For
I
sure.
think that I think what Law Tigers have done to kind of bridge that gap is when they bring people in that are in the motorcycle community into their fold and not the other way around, then
Yep.
what you've done is you've brought in somebody legitimate that speaks the same language as everybody else, right? Because you're not here selling me in a lawyer. What you're doing is you're like, hey, I want to be the guy that you think about because we're friends, because I've been in an event with you, I've had a beer with you, I've done whatever. Like, so you open it up to being a situation that's a lot less threatening than calling a lawyer, right? And you're
Yes, sir.
and then I what that does is it then the other door it opens up is you're not automatically having that first conversation with that lawyer as somebody that you can't trust. You're like, Taylor put me in contact with you. I trust Taylor. That means I can trust you, right? And I think
And-
that feels a whole lot different than just cold calling a lawyer to help you out.
And that's a big deal to me because people are initially putting their trust in me. So like, I want to hold everybody accountable for this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Sure.
Like they
Sure.
thought to call me, which in turn means they're calling you. So let's take care of these people.
Right.
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 That's a big deal to me. That's really important. And if
Right.
it wasn't for some personal experiences that I've had with this, then I would have never signed on for this position. But my good friend Tony Holshot on Instagram, check him out. He's an interesting, one of the better motorcycle riders I've ever come across. But he had an incident where he wrecked his bike. He was by himself, just riding home. He actually by himself. He had his fiance on the back, Christina, and they laid the bike down. Well, his insurance company was like, yep, we're going to cover your medical bills, but you don't have whatever level of insurance to cover your passengers, so we're not covering hers. And she was all road rashed up too. She had to go to the hospital as well. So we throw the West Coast Classic as an annual event that LFG and us and myself throw. And Tony comes up to me. He's still wrapped up. He's done up bad from this crash. And he goes, hey, man, the insurance company's going to cover me, but not Christina. Can I talk to your buddy from Law Tigers? And Gabriel happened to be standing right there. I introduced them, and within like 72 hours, her medical bills were covered. And
No
if it wasn't for
shit.
like experiences like that, I would have
Wow.
not, like, people say this, but like, I believe in it because I've seen it, you know?
Right.
It
Yeah,
makes
sure.
it a lot easier for me to talk about it because I've seen it work before, you
Right.
know?
Right.
Well,
So-
stories like that are powerful, right? I mean, you're
Yeah.
talking about first.
Tony's a great friend of mine. I wanted him taken
Yep.
care of, you know?
Right. It's
So-
it's kind of like that. It's kind of like the helmet argument, right? I don't say that people should or shouldn't wear a helmet, right? I
Mhm.
wear a helmet based on my own personal experience because if I didn't wear
People
a helmet,
should wear a helmet.
yeah,
I'll say it
well,
then.
yeah,
People
well,
should wear a fucking helmet.
right. I completely agree with you, but I'm not gonna, get in someone's face and tell them that they should or
No.
shouldn't, right? I
Yeah,
agree
I
with
agree
you.
with
I
you.
think they should, right? Like, because here's my deal. I was 10 years old. I was on the back of a Harley. We were in Southern California. The sun's setting behind us. The guy can't see. He pulls out in front of us. My mom's husband lays the bike down, and I go slingshotting off the back of the bike. I land kind of on a sitting position, fall completely backwards onto my head, and I roll over into dead man's position, and I'm sliding down the highway. And I remember opening up my eyes and seeing yellow line, yellow line, yellow line, yellow line, yellow line. And I just thought, well, I'll just lay here until I stop moving. And when I opened up my eyes, my face shield had been ground down, so my nose was almost touching the asphalt. And when I pulled the chin strap, my helmet fell off my head in two pieces.
Holy shit.
And I was
Wow.
completely unharmed. I got up, I peeled my jacket off me, I dropped it in the sand dune, and I went over and sat on the side of the road, and I was completely unhurt. But without that helmet, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I'd be dead.
Right.
So there's my story. Like, that's why I wear a helmet and why I always
Mhm.
will. But not everybody has a story like that, right? So if you don't choose to wear a helmet, that's up to you. I think, and I ride cross country and do all kinds of stuff. There's a million reasons why I think you should wear a helmet. Wind
Right.
fatigue, hit and get. I mean, I don't know how many times have you been hit in the face with a flying
Bug.
debris, road debris, or bug that
Fucking pterodactyl. Yeah. Jesus.
hits your face shield, and you're like, fuck.
I've
if
hit
that
a
hit,
bird. I've hit a
Oh,
bird
yeah.
with my helmet. Like,
yeah, I know a guy that hit a crow. Yeah,
God,
Mhm.
that's scary.
Mhm.
yeah.
No, it's
Yeah.
real, man.
The guy that I know that hit a crow, he was actually wearing a helmet, but he was wearing one of those stupid ass half helmet things, the little head crowns. And the guy that was riding behind
I
him,
don't get it.
yeah, the guy that was riding behind him got hit in the face with the blood from the guy in front of his face, the spray of blood.
Jesus.
And by the time he pulled over on the side of the road and stopped and got off his bike, when he turned around, both of his eyes were swollen shut. He had blood running out of his nose and out of his mouth.
God bless.
Jesus, dude.
Because he hit a crow. He hit a crow going 75. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And so, but had he been wearing a full face helmet, it would have maybe cracked the windshield, right, or the face shield on his helmet. But he wouldn't have felt the thing. So, you're right about that though. Like, you have an experience where what somebody tells you is going to happen actually happens, and they come through
Yep.
for them, and then that shapes your opinion, right?
100%. 100%. That's a real thing. That would have been, if they had dropped the ball on Tony, I would have been pretty bummed out, man. But
Right.
they didn't. So here
Right.
we go.
Right.
Now we're off to
Man,
the
those are
races.
the best testimonials, right? I mean, that's
Yes, sir.
and reassures you that you can put your reputation, your name on the line when referring people over. That says a lot, man. Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
That's gonna be a good feeling.
It was, dude. Shout out to Tony. Stop
Yeah.
crashing
So-
your bike.
So you moved from California to Louisville. How long have you been in Louisville now?
I moved here November 11th.
Oh,
So
so you're like fresh off the
Days.
boat.
Mm-hmm.
yes, sir. Fresh. Yeah. You know what's funny? Can I make a fresh off the boat joke?
Yeah, please
Oh,
do.
yeah.
My dad's first generation Cuban American. And that motherfucker is literally fresh off the boat. Whenever I hear that joke, I'm like, you don't know how fresh off the boat I am.
Yeah, for real. I was this close to not being born here.
That's hilarious.
Yep. No. Dude, I got out here and I gotta give a fucking major shout out to Kyle from Club Style Louisville. He really helped me out with like some housing initially that kind of got me covered. My wife and kids are up in New York right now at my in-laws' house, and we just purchased a house. We're gonna close on it middle of next month. But Kyle really kind of made it possible for me initially to have somewhere to kind of like lay my head down at night while I was figuring out all this other shit, you know?
Okay.
So I'm down here, Frankfurt Ave, like Restaurant Row, just me and my dog. He's here somewhere. I don't know where he's at. Oh, he's on the couch, believe it or not. But yeah, so I got here on the 11th and I started work on the 12th.
Okay. Well, there you go.
And off to the races, dude. I've moved a bunch just from my like military career. So moving to me isn't a foreign concept, but
right.
This one was aggressive for sure. This was an aggressive move.
Yeah,
seriously.
Well, I mean, California and the South, they're not the same. So
nope.
In case you haven't figured that out yet, they're not the same.
Culture shock is real. You know, I will say I was better prepared for this move than I was for Virginia to California. Like Virginia to California was like, holy shit, this is a different thing. But like, I mean, I grew up in Michigan. My mom's side of the family's from Southern Illinois. Like she grew up on a ranch. She's pretty country. Lived in Michigan since I was 18. Then Virginia was kind of the best of both worlds. It's a big city, but Virginia's the South. If you've ever been to Virginia,
Virginia's the South for sure. Yeah, I mean,
for sure.
I mean, I know that because I had family that lived in Virginia also. They lived in Norfolk for a while, and I have friends.
Oh yeah, that's where I was in Virginia Beach, right there.
Okay, yeah. So, and I have friends in Louisville, and I've been there quite a number of times, and I travel a lot for my work. But it doesn't get any more Yankee than me, dude. I am 100 miles from the Canadian border.
Yeah, I mean, you're not getting any more farther north than that.
No, dude, I'm fucking. We it's a standing joke. We say I live north of the wall. That's what I say all the time, dude.
A little Game of Thrones reference.
Oh, dude, you know, yeah,
the
for
wildlings?
Real. Oh yeah, we don't
yeah,
fuck
you
around.
look like with that beard too, bud. You're
we do not fuck around here for winter, man. Like everywhere else I call, like even in Michigan, I would say what you experience in Michigan is rookie winter, right? So right now right now it's
oh man. Those fighting words right there.
Yeah. Well, okay, so it's December 1. It's 9 degrees. Real feel is 0. So
wind chill is a thing. If you don't know what wind chill is,
right.
It's real.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give you this. Michigan, you guys have lake effect snow. Like you get legit snow. But we get snow. Like if it snows here in October, it doesn't melt till May. So
That's
yeah,
stupid.
I mean it's
cold.
Yeah, I'm living in the wrong place to ride a motorcycle, dude. Without a doubt.
Yeah, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah, I know, right? Wrong place to ride a motorcycle. No.
Hey, come down here. I know a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. No. I tell my wife all the time. I'm like, girl, you got 10 more years, and my ass is out of here. I'm like, we're not retiring here. We both know that, though. We're not retiring.
You're giving
here
her that long?
Well, dude, I've given her 30 years of this bullshit already. Okay. I mean, she was born.
What's another 10?
My wife was born and raised here. I'm a little bit nomadic like you. So I was born in Montana, and I've lived in every state west of North Dakota. So, but I spent the longest time in California. But I mean, I lived in California, Arizona, Nevada, Washington State. I mean, all over Arizona, just, all over the place. North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota. I mean, I've lived in a bunch of places. So
you got 10 years up there. I got 4.5 more years in St. Louis, and then I'm out of here.
Where are you going?
Well, probably back to Tennessee, at least for a while.
Bro, that's like 8 minutes from you. What are you talking about?
Well, East Tennessee is 500 miles. It's not a short ride. But I'll be in Knoxville or Nashville.
Okay.
Yeah, but Sophia graduates high school in 2030 in 4.5 years. So
okay.
Luke has
I'm
been
out.
away from that deliverance far too long.
Yeah, man, the
Yeah.
banjos are calling my name.
Yeah.
So I gotta head back. No, I'm here for my daughter, and
Yep.
that's fine. I'm no regrets, but when the time comes, she goes off to college, I'm out.
Hey, good
So-
on you for that, dude. That's good
Yeah.
stuff.
So-
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah. So Taylor, I have to ask because Luke and I have this connection too. So you mentioned wifey kids. What kind of boys, girls? What do you have?
I've got a 5-year-old son and a 3-year-old little girl.
Okay, well, we
Yep.
got another girl dad, Luke. We can't
Yep.
get away from these guys.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck, man.
Oh, dude, they my son is my son's really, how do I explain? He's just really cool. Like he's just like my buddy, you know what I mean? And he's kind of like a jokester. Like I hate to give him credit, and when he's older, he's gonna see this, and I'm gonna be mad. But like my son is funny. Like he's
Right.
actually funny. Like he makes jokes, and I'm like, where did that come from? My daughter's not that. My daughter's
Right.
not that. Not
But-
even a
but-
little bit.
But let me ask you this. So you say your son's funny and he's like a cool dude, but you'll kill
Yeah.
a motherfucker for your daughter, right?
Bro.
see,
Bro, it's a
Yeah.
totally different thing, man.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's a totally different thing, dude. Don't
Yeah.
like my wife asked me that after my daughter was born. She was like, "Would you like kill somebody for our children?" I was like, "Yes."
Yeah.
Like I 100%. Like
Yeah, well-
my daughter is the sweetest little fucking angel in the world. She's not super cool, but she's really sweet. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But like it's her program all the time.
Yeah.
And if you ain't along for that ride, then get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah.
She's 3 and she'll let you know, like, this is what I'm doing, you know?
A really good friend of mine, he asked me he asked me all the time. He says, "Just let me know," because my daughter's my oldest is 18. She just started college this year. And he said, you know, if you have any problems, he said, just let me know when you call me. If this is a don't ask questions kind of phone call, or if this is a, you know, you know what I mean? Like, are we burying somebody?
Yep.
Are we burying somebody in a field phone call kind of thing? Because, you know, my biggest fear is that my daughter calls me and says, you know, Daddy, I'm in a frat house and they won't let me leave. Right. I mean, that's my biggest fear. Like, you know, I mean, and you get it. I can tell by just the look on your face. I mean, you're not a small dude, right? And I'm not either. But I tell you one thing that I know isn't going to stop me is one of those doors in front of a frat house. If somebody says that my daughter's in there and they're not going to let her out, I mean, I'll burn a fucker down. I'm not, you know, like I always
now nobody gets to leave.
exactly.
That's
Now
right.
nobody's leaving, right? Like I always
Nobody's
tell.
leaving.
I always tell people when they ask me that question, you know, what it's like to tell, what's it like being a father of daughters? I'll say, I don't mind going back to prison, right? Say, you make that statement like, I don't mind going back, implying I've already been there and I'll go back for her, not a problem.
Well, that's the you walk in the frat house and you lock the door behind you. It's like,
Exactly.
we're all here
That's
now.
one of the
Here we
reasons I'm
go.
so glad I had a son first, man.
Right.
Because my boy's 2 years older, and
Yeah.
like we play fight a lot. It's not. There's a reason for it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure,
Like,
sure.
Right.
I'm making sure my kid is tough. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Sure,
Like,
right.
sure.
And someday
But-
somebody's going to come knocking on the door that you don't want your sister leaving the house with. So,
Exactly.
you need to send a very clear message that there's a reason
Mhm.
reason you should be afraid.
Yeah, like my brother's mean. Go
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, I tell you exactly. I told
That's the goal here, dude.
I
That's
took
the
my
goal.
my oldest daughter said to me one time when some boy came over and she said, Daddy, you need to be nice to him. I like him. And I said, the only one I have to be nice to is the last one.
Dude.
I'm like,
So
that's the only one I have to be nice to.
that's the fucking truth.
Yeah.
That's the fucking truth.
There ain't nothing
I
wrong
did
with
some
some healthy
pretty-
fear.
Yeah, dude. The story of me meeting my father-in-law is kind of funny. I did some pretty cool stuff in the Navy. I'm really proud of what I did, and like I was very fulfilled. I don't fucking hold a candle to what my father-in-law did in the Navy. And the first time I met
Oh.
him, he was like, you do what?" Like he was very like, I've never heard of that. Like, and he wasn't saying I've never heard of that in a cool way. He was like, that shit sounds gay. You know? And to this day, like, I'm telling you right now, Mark did cooler shit than me. Like, I'm pretty fulfilled, and Mark got down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
No,
Taylor, so I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Luke, go ahead.
I was going to say, back to Shifter Crew for a minute. So, talking about bike shows. So what's on the docket for 2026 for you guys? And what's that going to look like with you being out in Louisville now?
So one thing that I'm not too big to admit this. 2025, I knew I was getting out of the Navy, and I was in a pretty cool spot where like I was still getting paid by the Navy, but I didn't really have to work. So I got to do a lot of shit. And I said, I didn't say no to anything. I said yes to every single event that came across because I wasn't in a position to say no. I was trying to grow a business, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
And dude, we must have done fucking 15 bike shows. I mean, we did way too many. We did way too many. And we got pretty lucky. Dan and I got really lucky with our friend Zach, who must have been, I bet Zach messaged me end of August and he goes, "Hey man, I'm not working for like 6 months. I need something to do. Do you want some help with Shifter?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." Like that you have no idea how much help I need with this. Come on. We got 4, we had a stretch in September where we had 4 bike shows in the month of September. Every weekend we were gone. And I don't remember the order, but it was like Vegas, Ridgecrest, Vegas, and then we went up to Sandpoint, Idaho for the Sandpoint Showdown, which was a fucking amazing event that you guys should definitely check out.
Okay.
But Zach hopped in with me and I think we did the math. We spent like 74 hours in the truck together in the month of September, which Zach's an awesome dude. I don't want to spend 74 hours with anybody. and I definitely don't want to spend another 74 hours listening to his fucking music in the truck again. I'll tell you that much. I had asked him towards the end of that little stretch. I was like, "Hey man, you know, I'm probably moving. Would you be interested in continuing to do stuff in California for me?" He was like, "Yeah, man, I love that idea. That'd be great. I'll do that." And a couple weeks goes by and he goes, "Hey, what if I just get in on this deal? Like I actually become a part owner of Shifter." And I was like, "Dude, I can't tell you how many people have asked me to do that, but I would really consider it with you because I see the motivation and I see that you have your stuff together and you kind of just got like a crash course in how to run this. You know what I mean? You just did it with me for a month straight.
On the job training.
Yeah, no, accidental. Dude, he might have been making a play there that I didn't know. You know? But like he got
But his timing was perfect, right?
Yeah, dude, he fucking knocked it out of the park. I didn't know it was a job interview, but he killed it. You know,
he was interviewing you.
Yeah, right. So that ended up becoming a thing, and he's kind of I mean, Zach's a full-on partner in the deal now, and he's kind of holding down the California side of it. He's gonna be doing events and a couple shows out there for us. But one thing that I really learned is I don't want to water this product down. I think we've got our 6 to 7 shows that we're going to do next year. Okay. And that's going to kind of be what it is. I'm sinking super hard into the podcast and the social media aspect of it. Okay. And Zach is really our boots on the ground guy, you know?
So you're kind of able to divide and conquer now? It's kind of what it sounds like. That's awesome.
Yep. That's exactly what we're doing. Man, I'm out here on the East Coast, so let's go.
Yeah. Well, sure. So that's awesome. So in all those shows mainly are western half of the US, correct? That you'll be doing?
Yeah. So we're the ones that we're really passionate about. If we lose every other bike show that we ever have done in our life, we will always do the Live Fast Rally in Sylvania, California. Those guys gave us our start and they're some of our best friends. So we're never going to lose that show. Or we're never going to not go to that one. So it's that. It is. We also do Cruisy's bike show out there at Arizona Bike Week. Mm-hmm. We're going to hold on to that for as long as we can. Sturgis is another big one. The Sandpoint Showdown is an amazing event that we're really looking forward to.
Okay.
Fuck, I don't want to. We still connected? I didn't lose my connection here.
You're good. No, you're good.
You're good.
Okay.
Yep. No, you're good.
You're good.
I named 4 right there. I said Live Fast Rally, Sturgis, Sandpoint Showdown, Arizona Bike Week. Yep. Arizona Bike Week is Cruisy. God damn it. I'm going to miss one right now, and I'm going to feel terrible about it.
That's all right. That's all right.
We're going to go to Daytona this year. I don't think we're putting a bike show on, but we're going to be at the Performance Hangover show this year for sure. but the
Okay.
Mercenary Motorcycle Guys hosts up for that, and I'm super excited for that one. Born Free Texas, I think we're going to try to make our way out for that, which I would really like. And then the T-Bar Revival here in Louisville, Kentucky, like that's a thing. Like that
Okay.
is 100% something that I want to make a bunch of trophies for, because that's going to be a really
Okay.
good time.
Yeah, I'll have
And
to-
that
I'll
this is
keep
my
my
home
eyes
now.
open for
Like
that
I'm
one.
putting on for this fucking place, you know.
When
But-
is the Louisville show?
It's right after Sturgis, I believe. Can I
Okay.
take a little pee break real quick? Can I pee real quick?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Is that
do
possible?
it.
Sure.
Do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
do
for it.
I look like a child right now. I'm like, hey, I gotta pee. Hold on.
No,
Like,
do it.
I'm gonna piss real quick.
Yeah,
Go
for
ahead.
it.
All right.
Mhm.
And so
Are we editing that out? I don't know.
I was. What's that? I mean, is
Sorry,
I did. Yeah. I mean, I didn't see your dick, so we're good to go.
I feel like I was just listening
Sorry, I
to
had to pee.
Jace's podcast that would he I was just listening to Jace's podcast, I guess, on the way back from Tennessee yesterday, and he was interviewing Forever
Okay.
Rad, and he left his microphone on when he went to go to the bathroom. So you could just hear him straight peeing the whole time. It was hilarious.
It's fucking amateur hour
So
over
great.
there, dude. I tell you what, dude. Jace better get his shit together, dude. Shout out to Jace. I listened to that podcast as well. That was great. But with Kyle and Steve, that was
a
fucking
good
awesome.
one. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, those are. I really enjoy listening to those guys. They're
That's
good.
That's some
They're real
OG
good.
shit right there, dude. That's some OG fellas
Mhm.
right there putting a
for sure.
podcast together for sure.
When you can make your way over to St. Louis, we'll have to run down there and see those guys. I don't. Have you met any? Have you
Oh,
met Steve or
absolutely.
Kyle?
Yeah,
I figured
yeah,
you had,
I,
but yeah, we'll have to run down there.
I know Steve like decently well. We text every once in a while. When Kyle and I see each
Mhm.
other, it's all love, you know. I don't know Kyle
Yeah,
super well. I wouldn't say I know either of them super well, but they're buddies, you know. Good dudes
Yeah.
for sure.
I know. I mean, I don't know Kyle super well. Know Steve decent, and know their painter
Mhm.
Springle pretty decent. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's only 40 minutes south of me. It's
Steve's
such a beautiful shop. He's got a really great setup down there.
yeah, Steve's done some pretty cool stuff with his bike, man. He's another Michigan boy too, so
Yeah,
lot of
that's
love
right.
there,
I
you
forgot
know.
about that. Yeah, yeah.
I think he's
for
from
sure.
Grand Rapids, I
So-
believe. Somewhere up there.
Yeah.
So speaking of Louisville, I mean, the first time I went down to Kentucky, I think Kentucky's a little hidden gem in the United States, man. It is some great riding and beautiful country out there.
Dude, from what I have seen so far, like one, the people that I met out here have been fucking amazing. Like everybody out here is so
Yeah.
friendly, so fucking kind. But the geography here, like don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on Kentucky.
Yeah.
Like there's some.
Yeah.
I've had a really good time driving around. I cannot wait to get the bike out here. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it is.
I mean,
fucking gorgeous.
you got to get out and do a bourbon tour and get out and see like Castle and Key and some of these places, because there are some of those distilleries down there that have been there for 200 years. And you can see the distillery buildings where you can see the whiskey barrels, and you can see the just right through the windows, and you go, and I think it's Castle and Key that's right by the river where they get the fucking water from that they've been making whiskey from for 200 years. It's just it's nuts. The history is crazy. I was driving out in the country with one of my buddies out there, and we were driving by. There's this stone wall. And he goes, that was built in the Civil War era. And I was like, no shit. He was like, yeah. He goes, dude, there's some weird shit. You know, he says, some people want that thing torn down because of who built it, you know? And I was like, yeah. He goes, it's some crazy stuff. And then he goes, like we're driving a little bit further, and he goes, now we're like, all of a sudden you go from like Louisville, which is pretty urban, right, to straight up like, I mean, country as shit, dude, with rebel flags. And I mean, you go from urban to ass raping like in a hot second. I mean, it is for real.
Hey, first off, don't talk about my town.
I mean,
it's been there 3 weeks. Like, whoa,
Hey,
yeah.
I'll tell you right now, I got a lot of California buddies. making jokes. I live here now, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'll defend it.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like,
you're right around the corner from Methville too. So I mean, I've seen those fucking woods. No, and then what's really nuts is like it's true. I mean, you have like one neighborhood where there's like, I mean, a meth house, and 100 yards away is a $5 million horse ranch that and the $5 million horse ranch is just the fucking barn. Never mind the house.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was driving down the interstate the other day and I was like, damn, am I in the hood? And then I was like, that's Churchill Downs.
Yeah. Right?
There.
Yeah,
the Kentucky
exactly.
Derby is right
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
Yeah.
What is going on here, dude?
Yeah, my buddy told me, he goes, you're not truly from Louisville till you've ended up face down in a mud puddle at the Kentucky Derby in the center field. And I was like, you've done that? And he goes, more than once.
That's like Mardi Gras, man. I mean, the infield.
He said, I went from amateur to professional drinking. He goes to retired drinking. He goes, he goes, you can only spend so many years as a professional before you need to retire. I said, what was the line in the sand? He said the line in the sand for him was when he went to the liquor store on a scooter and carried back like 4 cases of beer, and he turned a corner and like 2 of them busted open, and he was like on his hands and knees picking up cans of beer in the middle of the road, and he's like, what the fuck am I doing?
Hey, you might have a problem, dude.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah,
a little bit.
And then, or he said he told me, he goes on occasion I would have to ask my wife the next day who I need to call and apologize to.
Hey, dude. That's just a part of growing up. All right. Like, let's be honest. That's just a part of this whole gig.
Let's teach you life skills. Humility.
Yeah.
Humility is
if you haven't blacked out and fucked something up at some point in your life, then you and I probably don't have that much in common. You know? Like,
it's a good thing we had
different lives.
Yeah, it's a good thing we had good internet connection, because at first he was like, if you haven't blacked out and fucked something, and I was like, whoa. I'm like, you are from Kentucky already.
Yeah. Nope, I'm from Michigan. We got different set of rules.
Oh, that's great.
Oh man.
No, the riding up there is beautiful. And wait till you get out to like or out there. Once you get out, like move out to eastern Kentucky and get in some of the hills, or you can go down south toward Nashville, like toward Cave City and all that. That's some really there's some really cool spots down that way.
Dude, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm just driving around here. I'm itching to get my bike, dude. Like I've got 2 of them. I got the Road Glide and the Pan Am, and they're ready to get them out here and start fucking around, you know?
Yeah,
man.
And just kind of experiencing this. So
a buddy of mine is that lives out there. He's like late 50s, and he just sold a fully built out Lowrider S, and bought a Pan Am, and then he bought a what else did he buy? He bought a Yamaha. So he kind of went balls deep into the ADV world. And so
don't sleep on that Pan America.
Oh, right. Well,
he loves it.
So
it's a fun bike.
Right. So he's out there. He meets a couple of these old dudes, right? They're like in their mid 60s, and they're on like, one of them's on like a 450 Honda, and it's like a one of those crossover bikes that can go dirt and track, or dirt and street. I can't think of the name of them. They're like, it's a hybrid kind of style bike. And then
okay.
There was another guy that was on a 650, like a Versus or something like that. And he's thinking, oh, I'm going to bring the Pan America. He goes, just like you said, don't sleep on it, right? He goes, these 2 old dudes, he goes, I could not keep up with them. Not even fucking close. He goes, they were so far ahead of us on the roads. He goes, never mind. Once we left the road, it got to the back road. He's like, I felt like I was 87 years old trying to keep up with these 2 old dudes. And he goes, they were just tearing the shit up. He's like, I get off my bike. He goes, I'm covered in sweat. He goes, my whole body hurts in every section of my body. And he goes, these 2 old dudes haven't even broken a sweat. He's like, I don't even know.
It's fucking real, dude. They the first time I rode one of those things, I took a turn out there in the canyons, and I was like, this doesn't feel right. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't like this. And I looked down, I was doing like 78 miles an hour, and I was like, Man,
Holy
this fucking
shit.
bike feels like it's cheating.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's
That's
a
hauling,
different
dude.
thing.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
And
There's-
what's gnarly to me is that what I said when I wrote it is I said it was the best stock Harley I've ever ridden in my life. I mean,
without a
just
doubt.
straight
Without a
straight
doubt.
away, don't have to do anything to it, and it's far more capable than I can ride.
Yeah, without a doubt. You're not gonna outride that bike. It's
Yeah.
got what they have done with that bike is what BMW did like 20 years ago. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Like but they have capitalized being able to ride it beyond your abilities, not only on the street but also on the dirt.
Yeah.
Like it's a stock 150 horsepower bike that makes a lot of power. It doesn't make any torque at all,
Right.
but it's a very different experience too. If you're gonna hop off a Harley and jump on a Pan America and think that's gonna be the same thing, it's not. It took
Right.
me a long time to understand that on my Road Glide, I'm sitting in the bike. I'm in the bike and I'm one with it. On the Pan, it's on top. You're sitting on
Yep.
top of the bike. It's
Yeah.
closer to a sport bike than it is to your traditional V-twin cruiser. But it's a lot of fun too, in a
Yeah.
very different way. You can fuck up halfway through a turn on a Pan Am and be fine.
Right.
If you fuck up too big on a bagger halfway through a turn, you might be committed to whatever that initial decision was that you made. You know what I mean? Like
You're committed
you
to the
could
fuck
run
up.
out of you run out of talent halfway through a turn on a bagger, you got a problem. But you can run out of talent halfway through a turn on a Pan Am and be all right. Like
Yeah.
it'll get you out of some sketchy spots. It's gotten me out of some sketchy spots for sure.
I what the hardest thing for me to get used to, and I just rode one for a day, was my buddy rides up next to me, and he was on a Lowrider S because he has a Lowrider S and a Pan America, and he goes, dude, what are you doing? And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, wind that fucker out. And I was like, what? He goes, you're shifting at like 3,500 RPM. He goes, shift it like,
that fucker goes to 10K.
Yeah,
Bring it
he's
up
like,
to 8. Let's go.
Yeah,
No
that's
shit.
what he said.
Wow.
He goes, shift that thing at 8K, and I'm like, are you fucking
Yep.
kidding me right now? He goes, no. He goes,
Max it out.
wind it out, wind it completely out. I'm like, okay.
That's a real thing, dude. I think it goes up to 8,500 or 9,000, something like that. Don't
Wow.
quote me on that, but
Yeah.
it's way
But
up there. It's
still,
a totally
yeah.
different ride.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing.
And
And
that-
you have to learn how to ride within that power band. It's not
Yep.
something you're going to be used to if you're a traditional Harley guy. It's a
Yeah.
different ride.
And then he really fucked me up, and he goes, and stop using a clutch. And I was like, what? he goes, wind it out and just bang into the next gear. And I was like,
Yep.
you gotta be fucking kidding me. And he goes, nope,
No,
that's
that's
how
real,
you.
dude.
Yeah, he goes, that's how you
I
ride
didn't
that
know
thing. And I'm
that.
like,
Oh,
I don't know.
wow.
I can't, I couldn't get down with that. But I did finally get to where I could wind it out, but I couldn't, I couldn't get down with the no clutching situation. So
Yeah, that's you can do it, but the force of habit for
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
I'm pulling the clutch.
Yeah.
I'm not stopping that.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
where I was too.
Yeah.
The other thing I thought was really fucking great was we were stopped, and I did that thing where I was standing over the bike and kind of getting myself readjusted, and I started to tip over, and I got past 30 degrees. You know that 30 degree mark? If you're on your, I have a Road King special. 30 degrees is that, okay, you're going down, you're not going to get it up after 30 degrees. And I was way past 30 degrees, and I could hear on all the comms, everybody's like, he's going down. And I fucking muscled that thing back up. And I was like, no way. I'm like, you can't. I'm like, if I tipped over my bagger past 30 degrees, that fucking thing's laying on its side. I am not getting it up. But that thing, I muscled it back up. So
Is
that was the
'cause it
thing.
sits so high?
I took my lady out on the Pan Am a couple months ago, and we did like some baby canyons, is what I'll call it. Like we went out and I rode a little bit, but I wasn't getting after it by any means. Like I have fucking blasted way harder on my bagger with her on the bike with no complaints. And we went and just kind of putted around aggressively. We aggressively putted around on the Pan Am.
All right.
And she was like, I hate it.
yeah,
She's like, I'm so high. She was like, I'm so high off the ground
right.
that I just feel like we're going to tip over. And I was like, we are so much safer on this fucking Pan America than we are on that hot ass Road Glide. Like we are so much safer. Like I can mess up really good on this Pan Am, and the bike will bail me out. You know, where the bagger, like, you're kind of committed to whatever you went into it at. You know.
Yeah. And you're that much closer to the ground, so we fuck up on that one, and you're gonna hit asphalt real quick.
You're gonna feel it a lot sooner than you are 3 feet off the ground on that Pan Am. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
But
well, and they sit higher too. I mean, besides the bike being higher, they're up higher behind you.
You're sitting
too.
on top of the bike.
Yeah.
It's a lot higher. Yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, my wife is extraordinarily short, so actually riding 2 up on a Pan Am would not be. My wife's 5'1", so she's never getting on the back of a Pan Am. I mean, she is with a stepladder.
Yeah,
extraordinarily short. You think you said?
Yeah. Well, my oldest daughter's 4'11", so I can say that she is a. I have little people in my house, so.
How tall are you, Ryan?
I'm 6'3".
Oh, dude! So you just look down on everybody in that.
Yeah, exactly.
What are y'all doing around here? Like,
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, you're like, hey, stand up when you talk to me, goddamn.
I know. Do me a favor, stand on that chair and look me in the face.
Oh, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny.
No, I know how it is.
So what does Shifter Crew have coming up for 2026? You said you had 6 events. You're obviously you're going to Mama Tried. I mean, based on it being 5 hours away. What is your what is the event that you're looking forward to the most this year that you guys are doing if you're only doing 6 of them?
So we're gonna do. I don't know how many events we're gonna do bike show wise. I'm looking at 6. Zach has done a really good job. He's super motivated. I'm really excited that he's excited. He's gotten us into the Built Well Parts and Labor Show. I believe it's January 6th in Del Mar, California. That's going to be an awesome thing. And then it sounds like he's got us a booth at Born Free California this year as well. And then I would say, I'll always say Live Fast Rally is my favorite one, but this is going to be my first year attending Born Free Texas.
Okay.
And I'm really looking forward to that. That seems like a different, it has all the Born Free energy, but in a very different way. And I'm really excited to go check that out.
I haven't done Born Free Texas yet. I'm gonna try to do that this year. We'll see how it goes. It always falls. The fall time's just tough with Sophia's sports schedule, but that usually falls around my birthday. So I'm gonna try my best to get down to Texas this October. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's one that I'm really excited about. I mean, Arizona Bike Week is always a good time. I'm looking forward to that as well. But
sure,
Born Free Texas, I'm planning on making it this year. So,
well, bad timing this year, right? You're just getting out of the Navy.
Yep. Dude, we didn't even talk about that. We didn't even talk about the Navy stuff.
Well,
let's talk about it. Yeah.
So,
I mean, let's.
Well, I do want to preface this with obviously you being a veteran. Thank you for your service. Thank you for everything that you've done for being being one of those that served. I appreciate it. It is the absolutely the one regret that I have in my life that I didn't. I'm a legacy. Like I had my grandpa was in the Navy also, and I had every intention on doing it, and I broke my arm and broke both bones in my forearm, and they pushed out the side of my arm, so I got 2 plates and 12 screws and 52 staples on my left arm, and after that the recruiter stopped calling me.
It's a nice little radius and ulna fracture, man. No big deal. Dude.
Yeah. So, and if I'm not mistaken, you did some medical stuff, right? In the Navy, is that true?
Yes, sir. I was a rescue swimmer for about 14 years in the Navy, and got to see. I don't know, to be fully transparent here, like probably 10 years of my career were super boring, and then I had like 3 years that were fucking exhilarating and a lot of fun, and we just got after it when I was out there in Lemoore. And yeah, man, like seeing people with broken bones and stuff, that was a part of the gig, dude.
Yeah.
It was
and that's my jam. So that's my background. So I've been working in healthcare for 25 years. So
Okay.
I work in imaging is what I do. So
Okay.
so I have a background in X-ray and CT, and I did that for a long time.
Oh, you've
And
probably seen some good ones, dude.
yeah. I mean,
Bro, I've seen people that like I show up and they're broken and they just look like little broken stick figures, you
yeah.
know?
Mhm.
Like I don't know, little Tib Fibs, you know,
Yep.
and Radius and Ulna, that kind of stuff. But like, I don't want to see the imagery on that. I
Yeah,
don't need to see. I don't need to see like, oh, there's a thing I tell people all the time, and Ryan, you're gonna totally understand. Like, I can teach you about trauma, and you can learn about it, but when you really see it, there there's no substitute for that.
yeah,
And
no,
you see it at like its final evolution of like, this is what a broken human being looks like.
yep,
You know,
yeah. It's
that's
what I would liken it working like because I worked I was like a trauma tech in an ER for a long time, and so I
mhm.
likened it to combat. Right, you're
No, I believe it,
the only thing
100%.
you're not getting is shot at, but everything
Yeah.
else about combat is happening to you. Right. I mean,
Mhm.
I would tell because I was a clinical instructor for a while, and I would tell the students all the time. I'm like, you haven't been baptized until you've been pissed on, shit on, bled on, and have
Mhm.
somebody's brains on you. And they were like, have
Mhm.
somebody's brains on you. And I go, if you don't think that
Yeah.
that's not going to happen here, you're wrong because that shit is real. Like, you
Mhm.
know, you work in a hospital ER and you see the best and the worst of humanity, right?
100%.
And then I took it one step further. We had the county coroner's office was in the hospital we were in, and so I was the morgue tech for a while. So I did all the X-rays in the morgue, and
Yep.
and that's truly where you see the worst of humanity, because that's where you see the end result of what we do to each other or what we do to ourselves. Um, and that's you know, I went in there with all this enthusiasm and I asked a lot of questions, and then I stopped asking questions because I stopped wanting to know what it was I was going to see. And then, you know, like I always tell people, I always say that term fake news, right? Um, I knew the news wasn't real 20 years ago when the first time I responded to an ER and I knew actually what happened. And then you watch the news and they reported what happened. And I was like, that's not what fucking happened. I was there when they brought that person in. That's not what happened. Like, I know what happened.
Dude,
I was there when the family was there. I was there when the cops were there. That's not what happened. This motherfucker just did not say what actually happened, or they made a bunch of shit up.
I can relate to that at an unbelievable point. Like
Yeah.
every initial fucking call that I ever received was basically not what was actually going on. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Right.
it's a totally different thing. I was in a unique spot because we were pulling people out of the mountains. So like we were arriving by helicopter, not
Sure.
ambulance, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. Yep.
But I think I probably had one or two calls ever that were exactly what I was relayed. You know, like, hey, this guy has this issue, and
Right,
you pull
right,
up and that's what's going on. And it's
right.
exactly that. Like, very rarely did I pull up or like get there and it was like, oh yeah, man, this is pretty by the book. Like, no, dude, it's
Yep.
fucking technical thinking. It's like, let go ahead and figure this the fuck out and then justify it later. You know? Like
Yeah.
it was a lot of that, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I enjoyed it, man. And people say thank you and shit. And I'm like, dude, I had fun with my job. Don't say thank you to me. I liked what I did. You know, like I had a good gig, but
No,
yeah.
it's good. So you and you touched on this. So you said you got a medical discharge.
Mhm.
Was this so were you thinking that you were going to be career Navy, that you were going to do this forever?
Yeah, so I had always said from an early point that if I if I didn't make E6 in 10 years, then I needed to get out and I needed to reevaluate like what I was doing in my life. And
Yep.
I made E6 at 9.5 years,
Okay.
which is it was pretty good for our rate. Like at the time, they weren't making a lot of those. So like I had achieved my goal and I was gonna ride it out. And I mean, I guess I'm going to change the subject a little bit here,
Yeah, sure.
if that's okay with you guys, and we're going to go down a little bit of a different rabbit hole.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was doing really well. I was career progression was on time. Like I was having pretty good time. I was fast tracking. You know, like I had
Yeah.
set my goals and I had achieved them and we were rolling. And then later in 2022, I started having panic attacks, and I didn't even know, dude, I didn't know what the word panic meant
Sure.
until I experienced this. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yep.
And the first time it happened, I don't wear a watch anymore. I still don't wear a watch. I'll never wear a fucking watch again. I was walking into the gym and my heart rate was at like 186 beats per minute. Just going fucking ballistic, dude. And I was like, oh man, I'm dying. Like,
Right.
this is very bad. I don't know what's going on. I hadn't taken pre-workout, hadn't done anything weird. I was just coming fucking unglued. My face got super red, my ears got super hot. And I went and sat in my car. I was driving a Mazda 3 at the time, and I was just like, I'm gonna die, like right now, you know? And eventually it subsided. And I don't know, that was kind of it. And I was like, man, that was weird. Like I was like just sitting in my fucking car crying, didn't know what was going on. And I was like, that was weird, man. We're never gonna tell anybody about that, you know? Like we're gonna take that secret to the grave, boys. Here I am on a fucking podcast talking about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Nothing happened here.
We're never
Nothing to
telling
see.
anybody about that.
Nothing. Yeah,
We're just
nothing to
gonna
see.
let that ride. You know, like that never happened, and we're never gonna speak about it. Like 2-3 weeks later, I make this joke all the time. Like I can fucking jump out of helicopters and I can fucking ride motorcycles really fast, but I can't fucking order a sandwich at Subway without like having a moment. I make that joke all the time because like 3 weeks later, I was in line at Subway and it happened again. And it fucking scared the shit out of me, dude. It was really bad. It was way worse the second time. Went out to my car and I called one of my corpsmen, Keith Woodall, and I was like, hey man, something's wrong. Like, I don't know what the hell is going on with me, but something is very, very, very wrong. And no, I do not want to disconnect from my Wi-Fi. Please do not disconnect me from my Wi-Fi. But I was like, hey man, something's really wrong, you know? And I go out to my car and it's the same thing, dude. I'm a hot mess. I'm just like a puddle, you know? And I mean, dude, I'm like 6'1", 220, like pretty gangster fucking rescue swimmer. Like I was doing real shit. This wasn't fucking pretend. You know what I mean?
Right.
We were getting
Right.
after
Yep.
it, and I didn't understand for the life of me why I was having these fucking issues. And Keith showed up and had a conversation with me and told me like, "Yo, dude, everything's gonna be all right. You're good. Whatever." He scheduled me an appointment with my flight surgeon. I told him what was going on, dude. I thought I was having heart attacks. I thought
Right.
like
Sure.
there's something wrong physically with me. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And he got me into therapy, which really, really, really helped a lot. And so I did that for like a year. And then when I transferred down to San Diego from Lemoore, there's a process. It's called an admin upshit. So you have to like go in and basically say like, hey, I transferred. I'm going to continue flying. Here's my medical record. Review everything. I'm good to go. Let's keep this fucking train rolling. And they were like, yeah, man, come back in a week and we'll have your admin upshit. You'll be back in the aircraft. Good to go. And they called me like a week later and they're like, hey, man, you got to come in. Like we gotta talk about some of this stuff. And they'd gotten my diagnosis from my civilian doctor, and they basically were like, hey man, that's it. Like you can't be in therapy for these kinds of things, and your career is over. And
Wow.
that was how I found out I was getting out of the Navy.
Okay.
That was
Wow.
it.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
that
It
is
was
pretty
kind of a trip,
sobering.
man. It wasn't I didn't want to get out by any means. I'm gonna plug my phone in real quick because I'm using my Wi-Fi off my phone, so bear with me.
Sure.
Oh, you're
But
good.
by no means that I want to get out of the Navy, dude. I thought I was doing my 20 years and calling it a day, but my hand was kind of forced. I think it was probably the best thing that could have happened because it forced me to actually get some real help. And it was just my time, you know.
Yeah. It's weird how those paths go. You know, my a classmate of mine who it was actually a groomsman in my wedding. He
Mhm.
his dad served in Vietnam, and and my buddy kind of grew up in the theater in high school, and so you can about imagine a theater kid and his dad who
Mhm.
served in Vietnam don't really see eye to eye, right?
Yeah.
And so he really just wanted his dad to tell him that he was proud of him. Well, he
Yeah.
signed up. He between our so at that point in time this was in like the early 90s, you could actually go to, if you were 18, you could go to basic training. I'm sorry, if you were going to turn 18, you could go to basic training between your junior and senior year of high school. So
Oh,
he went to
wow.
basic training between our junior and senior year, and so he was in the National Guard. So he did his 4 years in the National Guard, and decides when we're like 22 years old, he's going to go full-time military. Well, this was
Okay.
like 96, right? So when he goes full-time, so he hits Afghanistan, Fallujah, Iraq, Iran, you know what I mean? And he was a combat medic, and he volunteered for every and anything that you could see to get his ass shot off, right? So if you saw a fucking, you know, when the Blackhawks were getting shot down, he was going to volunteer for a Blackhawk assignment. When the roadside bombing was happening, he was driving a medical Humvee. I mean, he was in the shit. And you know, just the opposite of you. Now he's on military disability. He can't work at all because he's seen and done so many things that he is a shell of a human being. And while I respect everything that he did, I feel awful that you know, I feel like he gave up everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For that moment for his dad to say he was proud of him, because he's not life is very hard for him now, you know? And so I feel for you when you have a trajectory that you expected to go a certain way. You know, and hopefully, you know, that those of us on the outside looking in aren't any less proud of you for what you've done. You know, even though your choice was taken away from you at the end, that it doesn't, it's no reflection on you at all. So
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm super proud of my career. You know, there's a lot of people that get to go to work today because I went to work one day. You know what I mean? Like if that makes sense.
absolutely.
Like, I did everything that I ever fucking set out to do, you know? And I am the farthest thing from a fucking combat vet in the world, but like, I did get to help people, you know? And that's a really fulfilling feeling, you know?
Sure. Well,
Yeah.
Taylor, you talked about, you know, you started seeing a therapist and whatnot. Is that something that you were, I could speak, and I speak for myself in that, you know, I knew I needed to go to therapy, and I put it off for as long as I could until really I had to. I just had to, you know, and kind of, you know, procrastination and whatever else. Can you share a little bit about that experience about, you know, oh, I need to go see a therapist, or it's been recommended, you know, was that something, yeah, let's do it, something you put off? What was that thought process? Because I know, I mean, for guys, that's something, you know, a lot of guys out there, including me at one point, where it's like, no, I don't need that. I don't want that. I don't want to share my feelings. I don't want to share what's been going on in my life. That sounds like an awful idea. So can you share that experience with us?
Yeah, man, I was as far, I mean, I was as far opposite of thinking that that's what I needed as you could possibly fucking be. Like, I mean, if you look at me, I look like I have my shit together. You know what I mean? Like, my fucking hair is combed. You know what I mean? I got my fucking life together. I'm fucking in shape. Fucking big old fucking white boy. You know what I mean? Like, go to the gym type shit. I look like I have my life together. I didn't realize how kind of much I didn't. I thought I was having a fucking heart attack, dude. Like, when all my shit started happening, I thought there was something fucking physically wrong with me. And the doctor recommended therapy. And I was like, fuck, dude, the last thing I want to do is be like a mental health guy. That's the last thing in the fucking world that I want to do.
Sure.
And man, it fucking did a stark turnaround for me. Having these conversations and being able to open up. And I don't know, man, like, everybody wants to be like this fucking hard ass, but that's an old school way of thinking that doesn't exist anymore. You know what I mean? Like, just bottling it up and fucking dealing with it is not real, you know? And it's been,
well, that's what gives you the panic attack,
you know?
and then eventually a heart attack.
100%, dude.
For sure.
100%. Like, that stress level increases to a certain point, that now you're out of control of your physical body. That's what happened to me. I got into therapy and was able to have a couple conversations. I mean, not a couple. I still have conversations. Like, it's still like a thing, but being able to open up and understand. The biggest thing for me was understanding why I was having physical reactions that were out of my control, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
And then being able to combat them might be the only word to explain with that.
Sure.
But dude, like, it doesn't go away. You know what I mean? Like, every day can be a fight, man.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
just keep on kind of fighting that fight. I've had not to be, I don't want to hijack this conversation by any means, but I do have kind of a message that I want to put out a little bit. Never in my life have I ever encountered or been like friends with anybody or anything like that where anybody has ever committed suicide. Until this year, I've had 3 friends commit suicide. So I just want to put this out. And I got a phone call the day before Thanksgiving. A friend of mine from fucking rescue swimmer school committed suicide. And I thought he was the happiest, most go-lucky guy in the world. And I cannot imagine. I'm super disappointed in myself for that, for not being aware that that was happening with him. But if anybody out there is ever fucking going through some shit like that, dude, bro, pick up the phone, man. Like, I've been sad. I'm sure you guys have been sad. You know what I mean? Everybody gets sad, but like, pick up and call the phone, call your friends, have that conversation, man. This whole like men are too tough to talk psychology thing it's not real, dude. I'm in therapy. I see a therapist every week. Nobody's gonna tell me I'm a bitch to my face. You know what I mean? Like, that's but it's
they might
real,
only
man.
once, right?
Yeah, they might once, and they'll wake up tomorrow. You know what I mean? But
that's right.
In all
That's
seriousness,
right,
man. Like,
that's right.
If you're going through something, like, reach out, man. Make those fucking phone calls, because I miss my friends more than I can fucking say, and I would do anything to have one more conversation with them and talk them off that ledge. I wasn't able to do it, and I don't ever want to be in that position again. So if anybody out there that's listening to this, like, if you're going through something, dude, I go to therapy all the time, man. I talk to people. I'm on fucking crazy people meds. It's all right, dude. You'll be fine. Like, but reach out, have that conversation, get that help, because you're not alone. That's the only way I can describe it. You're not alone. I promise you. If I can't relate to what you're saying, I have a friend that can, and I'll put you in contact with the right people, or I will do my damnedest at least to put you in contact with the right people. It's real, man. Like, mental health there's a disease going around right now, and I don't want one more of those phone calls. That's just what it is. So sorry to hijack the conversation, and I know we're getting way off a topic for motorcycles, but that's how I feel.
No, dude.
Well, that's part of what we cover, man. We talk, I think our tagline is motorcycles, life, and everything in between. And this is definitely in between, this is part of the life and in between motorcycles and life. I mean, I've seen a therapist. Next month will be 14 years. I've been seeing the same guy.
Fuck yeah.
And
same guy?
He saved my life. Same person. Yep.
Hell yeah,
14 years.
Man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We're at a point where we hug after every session, right? Like, it's
I've been through 14 therapists. Good for you. You got same guy 14 years.
Yeah. I got lucky, man. I got so lucky, and I've talked to a lot of friends about what you just said, that if you're feeling bad, you're not alone. And a lot of people say that. I tell people, dude, that conversation isn't as hard as you think it is. You just got to start it. We got to start the conversation. If you start it, I'll help you. I'll help you get there. Just let's start the conversation.
Because I promise you feel like you're the only person in the world that's dealing with this, and you're not. You're not the only fucking person dealing with it, dude.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of us have been there. Just pick up the fucking phone, dude.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. I've told so many people, I said, listen, I was embarrassed. I didn't want to talk about what was wrong or what was troubling me. I didn't want to bother people. And maybe I was finding excuses. Sure. Was I ashamed? Sure. There's a lot of those. I mean, there's a lot of reasons I didn't start those conversations, but I finally did. And man, it's not, I mean, I'm a night and day different person than I was, 14 years ago to today.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful for therapy and friends that I can have conversations with, right? Like real conversations. Ryan and I have those conversations, especially about parenting. We've had a lot of those lately.
Oh, dude, I can imagine.
And he's parents, he's got an 18-year-old and a 13-year-old. I've got a 13-year-old, and man, parenting a teenager, I thought I was ready. Fuck, I wasn't anywhere close. And so I've leaned on a lot of friends like Ryan who've been down that road that have been in my shoes, and it's been really helpful.
Especially the girls, right? I mean, they get to a certain age where they join the revolution, and they don't circle back around until they're in their 20s, right? And yeah, I mean, it's just it's a thing, right? And your boy's gonna be different. I remember distinctly, and you're probably gonna face this too one day. I remember the day, Taylor, I decided that I was tougher than my dad. Did you have that day with your dad?
Yeah, I got beat up.
Yeah, I did too. I did too.
I thought I was.
Did you get it? Did you get a lick in? Because I thought I was tougher. I punched my dad first.
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
And that was a. I was
gonna say I yelled at my dad because I thought I could take him, and I was at the bottom of the stairs real fast. I didn't know. I didn't know why. But I time traveled to the bottom of the stairs.
How'd I get here? What?
I did this thing where I did the, like, when you like chest up to somebody, I did that to my dad, and then like I shoved him, and when he went back about a step, I punched him, and I didn't realize that I could fly like Superman, but but apparently in the house that we live in, there was an ass print about 6 feet, or it was probably about 8 inches from the ceiling, where my ass hit the wall, and then I landed on top of a piano, and then fell over on my dad's chair. And then if you want to know real fear, my mom came out of the bedroom and grabbed my dad by the ear and drug him down the hallway. And I was like, I mean, I thought my dad was tough when I saw my mom dragging my dad down the hallway by the ear, because he just threw me across the room. I was glad that I punched him at that point.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Yeah. I did it when I was 19 because I thought I was tougher than my dad.
Oh, dude, I tried. I was probably 14 when I tried, and then that was it, dude. We had to figure it out real quick, and when I was 18, I just moved out. Like we didn't have to figure anything else out. It was just time for me to go, dude.
Yeah. I think what you realize is that no matter how old your dad gets, he's still got one last ass kicking left in him, and you need to decide if you want that ass kicking to be yours. That's what you need to decide.
Hey, he ain't as good as he once was, but he's as good once as he ever was. You know what I mean?
That's right.
It's one of those deals. It's one of those deals.
Exactly. Yeah.
I remember when my dad passed away about 5 or 6 years ago, and he was in a bed, and I was sitting beside him on the bed, and he wasn't really, kind of with it or conscious or whatever anymore. And I reached over and I was holding on to his hand. He didn't say anything. He just looked at me and squeezed the fucking shit out of my hand. I mean, just fucking like with all of his might, like he was going to break my fucking knuckles. And then he just got this grin on his face. Never said a word, like, I'm in this bed and I'll still break your fucking hand if you mouth off.
I'll still fuck you up, kid.
I was like, yeah, exactly. Funny. I was like, God damn. I'm like, he can't get out of this bed and he's going to break my hand.
That's funny.
Yeah, no, it's one of those it's one of those things for real. But Taylor, it has been an absolute honor and a pleasure to speak with you tonight. I had no preconceived notions, and I told Luke, I said, don't tell me anything about him. I said, this needs to happen organically.
Yeah.
And man, you were one real genuine guy, and I appreciate that, and thank you for coming on and spending some time with us tonight. We will definitely have to do this again.
Absolutely,
for sure. We're gonna have to have a drink. Mama Tried this year, because we will be there for sure. So
yeah, man.
Well, Taylor,
thank you so much, guys, for
I
having
really
me,
appreciate your time. Where can everybody find you on the socials, whether it's Shifter Crew or Law Tigers? You let everyone know where to find you.
Yep. So Shifter Crew is self-explanatory. It's on there. It's on Instagram, shifter.crew. My new work profile is Law Tigers Sky, Law Tigers KY, Law Tigers Kentucky, all the same. Kind of falls under that, but it's Law Tigers KY. That's where you can find my professional stuff. That's where you're going to see a lot of what I'm doing out here in Kentucky. Excited to be a part of the community and just jump in. I want to say thank you guys so much for having me, dude. This was fucking rad. I've been watching your guys' podcast since you've been going, been following you on on TikTok and Instagram and everything else. And dude, you guys are running an awesome program here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, man, it's an honor to have you on the show, man. I think the world of you, and you know, I think what people should know about Taylor is you meet him once and you got a friend for life. He's just a genuine, real guy that although you listen to the podcast, you get a hint of that, but you drink a couple of beers with the guy, you know, real quick, just a good dude. And I appreciate you reaching out at Mama Tried last year, because this wouldn't have happened if that didn't happen, and I certainly made Mama Try it even better last year, so I appreciate it.
Fuck yeah, thank you, man. Thank you, Luke.
Yeah, man. Well, guys, appreciate y'all tuning in another week of the show. Don't forget, if you find us on our socials, Motor State Podcasts, everywhere you get your socials. You can download our shows anywhere you get your podcasts. And if you feel like supporting us a little extra, we certainly would appreciate it. We have a couple different levels of donation levels on Patreon, so find us there. And until next week, hope you all have an awesome week, and we'll see you next Monday.
Yeah, and hang on for just a couple minutes when we're done here, okay, Taylor?
Yes, sir.
Peace. We out.